Today on Ask BRStv, we're answering Surro's question from the YouTube comments. Do the Klir fleece filter systems work on the Red Sea filter sock chambers? Hi there, I'm Randy, and we're back with an Ask BRStv from the YouTube reefing community. This one from the Ask BRStv that we did on Red Sea bare-bottom tanks, where Surro asked if the automatic fleece filters from Klir will fit in the Red Sea filter sock holders. So the answer, Surro, is no, they don't fit, but let's talk about what they do work with. So these roller filters are becoming increasingly popular in the hobby because, let's face it, who really wants to change and clean filter socks every few days? I personally did it for a few years before rolling filters were a thing, and then I ended up tossing the socks altogether. But you know, when my next tank goes up, I'll honestly give the automatic filter fleece system like these from Klir a hard look, as there's no denying that mechanical filtration can really make for some crystal clear water, and this type of automatic filtration makes that easy. Okay, to get down to it, the Klir fleece filter system is one of the only filters designed to fit most common size filter sock brackets, which makes for super easy installation without having to modify your sump or tank's existing plumbing, since it just drops right into a standard 4-inch or even the larger 7-inch filter sock holder. On top of that, if you have other types of sumps with slightly different sock trays, or you went DIY with your sump, there's the filter bracket option that sits in the overflow chamber and works just the same. So with the Red Sea filter sock trays measuring just a bit smaller than most common sock tray sizes at 3.5 inches in diameter, without some sort of modification, the Klir filter just won't be an out-of-the-box solution for these tanks specifically. With that in mind, you may be best served using one of these on a sump that has more traditional sized openings, which will allow the Klir to seat properly for normal operation and keep you from changing out socks every 2 to 3 days. Basically, how these fleece filters work is that water pours into the filter sock chamber, down through the filter fleece in the Klir, and out to the rest of the sump. Much like traditional socks, as the fleece paper gets clogged, the water level above them will rise, which will trigger the optical sensor and tell the motor to roll up the dirty fleece and replace it with new material. It's pretty simple, and along with that, for those with tight spaces under their sump, the whole thing is hinged to allow you to drop it into the filter chamber from an angle and then snap it upright in place. Couple of things to note about this system in particular. You will need a filter sock chamber that has at least 1 inch of space above the socks themselves to allow the water level to reach the optical sensor when the paper's clogged and trigger the motor. Along with that, you'll want to make sure you have about 8.5 inches of clearance below the filter sock tray for the Klir to fully seat, but with many sumps being designed to accept 4-inch by 14-inch socks, this shouldn't be a problem. You know, there are a ton of sump designs and types out there that will support the Klir fleece filter. Here's a couple of options that I would use this with. First would be my personal favorite style of sump, and that's the 40 breeder DIY sump, where I drop it in with the Klir filter bracket. Outside of that, you can see that Charlie uses one on his water box tank and the sump that's included with it, and the eShop's Refugium sumps also look to be a solid option. With some slight modification on a few sumps, I'm sure that a reefer could get this to fit in many other situations. I did note, however, that the trigger sock trays are oval shaped, which won't work directly out of the box, but you could simply use the Klir bracket and divert the drain line into the next chamber over. Thanks for watching, and thank you, Surro, for the great question. For those of you looking for a bit more, the best part about the YouTube reefing community are the actual experiences, knowledge, and comments that we all share, so keep them coming. This conversation is where we get great questions for Ask BRStv like these, so feel free to chime in, and we'll see you next time on Ask BRStv.